Hello everyone, welcome to this show. My name is Amanda Ostrander. I am a teacher turned homeschool mom, and this is Raising A to Z, a place where we talk about all things homeschooling. And today we're going to talk about what to do when your day just goes awry. It's going to happen. You're going to have a day where everything absolutely falls apart in terms of your homeschooling life. The kids are going to have a rough night's sleep. They're going to be too loud. They're going to be irritating each other. Someone's going to wake up on the wrong side of the bed. We're going to have maybe you're 10 minutes into your first lesson and everyone's already screaming and crying. What do you do when this happens? What do you do? It's enough. Sometimes it's enough to make you want to send your kids to school. Like, honestly. And in those moments, just as a little side note, that doesn't stop it, right? Teachers have to then deal with your kids who are having a bad day. And sometimes they have multiple children having a bad day all at the same time. And there's 25 kids in their class and they have no ability to really do anything about that. So like, that's real, just on the other side of things as a former teacher. But also full moon is real. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I have been a camp counselor, a former teacher. I run a choir for 80 kids. Let me tell you, I can assure you the full moon thing is real. The full moon comes out and the kids just lose their minds. I don't understand it, but it's real. So what do you do when you have a day like that? How do you rally things together to kind of do something and like kind of pull your day back together? Let me give you a couple ideas, advice, things that have worked well for me as a former teacher, as well as a mom who has been homeschooling for almost 7 years now. So first things first, let's start with the basics. We want to make sure our kids have their basics covered. We want to make sure that they've slept enough, that they've had something to eat, that they are clean, and that they are honestly dressed. And I say that like, those are like the things that I'm like, if those things are good, then we can like problem solve outside of that. I cannot tell you how many times I've had kids melting down at my table and be like, do you need a snack? And all of a sudden a cheese string has fixed everything and we're back on track. Especially if your kids are going through a growth spurt. You won't see it for like another 4 days, but they're starving now and you need to feed them. So try a snack, let them sleep in a little bit. Sometimes just like putting on a fresh outfit or say, hey, why don't you put your pajamas on or your princess dress? Like sometimes it's just not worth the fight. Make sure that the basics are covered, because once their basics are covered, their basic needs, we can troubleshoot and move on to other things. If your day is just like off to a bad start and you're like, I really do want to do some academics, something, start with your kid's favorite thing. It's a lot easier to like get kids on board when it's their favorite thing. And sometimes that means it's going to be doing something that like is not your norm. So maybe your kids are like losing it and you're like, hey, why don't we read a chapter of the book that we're reading at bedtime? Just to get us on to something because you know they love that book. That's an easy sell. And it's something different. It freshens things up, but it's an easy sell, right? My kids love being read to, and especially if we have a really good novel on the go. I'm like, hey guys, let's go jump in bed. Let's cuddle in bed and let's read another chapter. And it's an easier sell. If your kid is like obsessed with doing, their math because they love math, hey, let's do math. Let's do some math, or, let's play a math game. Like let's pick their favorite thing and start with that and see. Sometimes that's all it takes is just like switching it up and doing their favorite thing first to like get us into the right mindset and get us on the right track. Try doing something different. If you're like, hey, we're fighting on math today, pull out a whiteboard. Honestly, whiteboards, dollar store, amazing tool. Instead of doing your math in your workbook, you're going to do your math on the whiteboard. I don't understand the logic. Actually, I do understand the logic of it. It's novelty. It's exciting to be able to do something different. And for me, like with math and stuff, when you're doing a whiteboard, you can have like different colored markers. They have the eraser. Like it's all of a sudden it's more hands-on because it's not just like a pencil on a paper. They get a lot more activity. The novelty of it is so exciting. So try something different. Try a whiteboard. There's a lot of ways you can try something different. So, like I said, a whiteboard, maybe let them type out their spelling words instead of writing them out, or their paragraph or their journal. Maybe you guys go and read somewhere else. If you're often read at the dining room table, maybe you go and read in bed. That's one of our favorite places to read. Maybe you go like cuddle up on the couch. Like try something, do something what you're wanting to do, but try doing it somewhere different. Let them write with a marker instead of their pencil. Like sometimes just a little thing can make a big difference. Okay. The other thing you can try when your day goes awry, you can negotiate. I am not above negotiating. Listen, some days kids just don't have it in them. And that's okay. There's days where I don't have it in me. And some days one lesson is better than nothing. So I'm not above negotiating. Okay, if you sit and do this lesson, which if you do your math, you don't have to do your science today. Or if you do your math and your language, we can skip history for today. Once in a while, that's all it takes. And I'm not above it. I'm also not above bribing my kids. Straight up, I have put gummies, chocolate covered almonds. When you finish your math, there's 3 chocolate covered almonds waiting for you. I'm not above bribing every now and then. Sometimes they just need a little external motivation. And sometimes that's all it takes. Negotiate and bribery, it does work sometimes. I don't try to do it all the time because I don't like getting into that power struggle. But if you can tell it's been a rough day or they're tired or, especially I find if we've been go for a couple of days, especially my youngest, she'll start to be like, oh, what do I do? I don't know. And you're like, you know what? If you just do one thing today, we can take one thing off of your plate and just call it a day. That's all it takes. And all of a sudden we're back on track. So that is totally a great option. Now, let's say none of these, which I consider kind of the simpler ideas of how to get your kids back on board. That, if these are kind of my first steps, the first things you do. What do you do when those just don't work? Okay. You're having a bad day. They're just melting down. Everyone's at each other's throats. It's not a good day. Okay, we need to level up in our approach of what we can do. Here's some higher level things. Number 1, and this is kind of my first go-to, I call it the just add water rule. When my kids are melting down, when they're having a bad day, when they're grumpy, just add water. In the summer, that means go swimming. That means go play in the sprinklers. That means I'm going to give you a bunch of water and some plastic science beakers and you're going to just go to town. In the winter, that can mean go take a shower, go have a nice lovely bath. Don't ask me why, but it works every single time. In my house, anyway. It worked the other day. Zoe was in a horrible, rotten mood. And it was the weekend, but she was in a rotten mood. And she was just grumpy and she was crying a lot and she was stomping around the house. And I was like, you know what? Do you want to have a bath? And she was like, what? And I was like, do you want a bath? She's like, no. And I was like, what if I gave you a bath bomb? Do you want a bath? She's like, fine. Kid fought me on it. She did not want to go, but she went. Eventually, I got her in the bath with a little bath bomb and some little plastic toys. Kid stayed in the bath for 3 hours and just splashed around the bath, had a glorious time, and came out a different kid. So just add water. And I think that it works. It works for me too. Think of you yourself as an adult. If you're having a bad day, going for a hot shower and just giving yourself 10 minutes of just under the hot water and just, it works, right? It makes you feel better. You feel more human. You feel invigorated. You feel calmer. It works for kids too. So just add water is my first go-to. If that's not working and you're we're not getting through any paperwork today, that's fine. Go educational adjacent. So there are things that I consider educationally adjacent that are not workbooks, not assignments, not projects, but are things kids like to do that are educational, but they don't always realize it's educational. You know what I'm saying? So this would be This would be things like a board game. It could be like an arts and crafts time. It could be watching a documentary. Those are like things that are like educationally adjacent. They're learning, they're practicing skills, they're creating, they're working all of the different muscles of the brain, essentially, like all the different like logic and reasoning, and they're doing educationally adjacent things, but it doesn't feel like it's work. It doesn't feel like workbook work, which, you know, fair. Some days I just don't want to do work either. You know, like I get it. Sometimes you just want to do something different, you know, and that's okay. There are a lot of amazing documentaries out there that you can watch with your kids. There's fantastic board games you can play with your kids. Like, there's so many things you could do that are like educationally adjacent. You could bake cookies. Like, there's lots of things you can do, and that I would like are still using math and science and reading skills and learning things, but it doesn't feel like as much work, right? Because sometimes they just don't want to do the work of doing the, you know, it's just less work for them, and they still get something out of it. So sometimes that's where we're going with. The next thing you can do is get out of the house. Get out of the house. Sometimes all you need is walk around the block, jump on the trampoline, a little swim in the pool. You know, if it's a hot out day and it's summer, like sometimes you just need to get out of the house and move your bodies and kind of get yourselves up and going, right? Now you can go for a little nature walk. You can go putt around the garden. You can go for a walk around the block, go to the park for half an hour. Like, you can do all those kinds of like little things. We can also take this a step further and go on a field trip. This is one of the reasons why I do love having a membership to something in the city, because it gives me a place to go that I don't have to like really think too hard about. Like, if the kids are losing their minds, especially when they're younger, if they're just like squirrely and running around and you're like yelling and screaming, like, we just need to get out of the house, I don't have to think about where to go. I'm like, oh, day at the Science Center, swipe the membership card and we're good to go. Like, it's done. It takes one less thing off my plate. But I also know we're going to go learn things. We're going to see things. We're going to explore things. We're in a different environment, and it's just something different, and we're still learning. So it's a win-win. And obviously you can go and do other things too. Like, if you're like, I don't have a membership, you can go somewhere else. You can go skating. You can go hiking. A lot of libraries rent snowshoes in the winter, which is kind of cool. And in the summer or spring, you can also get like day use passes at the library. A lot of them have that. You could just go hang out at a library as like a cheap, free, get out of the house kind of activity. Go to the grocery store. Go to the used bookstore. Oh, we need to do that. I actually have some money for the used bookstore. We need to go to the used bookstore. We're going to do that sometime this week. But yeah, sometimes just get out of the house. You just, sometimes, especially in the winter, you've been cooped up. It's been cold. You just need to get out. And that just kind of like turns everybody's spirits around. And that's the goal. That's the goal. This one is going to sound counterintuitive, but give them some free time. A lot of times as homeschoolers and as parents in general, we're so worried about our kids doing stuff all the time that we don't give them enough time to just sit and exist and be and do what they want to do. A lot of kids are overscheduled. A lot of kids have too many activities or too many days out. And as homeschoolers, we're just as guilty of this as non-homeschoolers. It is very easy for us to accept a play date every day on top of all the activities and the co-ops and the clubs and the classes and the choir. And like, we could be out of the house every single day of the week if we wanted to, on top of doing schoolwork. And like, that would be a lot for a lot of kids, especially I find like the kids who have the hardest time are more introverted children, and they need downtime. They need time to just like, and do what they want to do. My youngest is more introverted. She needs downtime. She needs time to sit. She needs time to play. She needs time to create her little clay figurines. She needs time to play with her plastic animals in the world or zoo that she's created. She needs time to do those things. And if she has been go doing too much, it starts to negatively affect her mental health. And so sometimes giving them like a little chunk of the day to be like, hey, you're off the clock. You can go do what you want to do for a little while and have fun and just relax. That is like the best thing that you can ever do with them, is just give them time to just be kids, which is one of the reasons why we homeschool, is because we want our kids to have a full childhood. And sometimes we forget that a full childhood involves slowing down and being able to just play and create and do what they need to do on their own. And then lastly, when all else fails, nothing is working, what do? It is totally okay once in a while, every now and then, to abandon the ship and just let the schoolwork go. You are totally allowed to just say, you know what? I give up. Today is not the day. We are doing something different. We are and we're just going to just let go of the educational expectations for today. That is also completely fine. As long as you're not doing that constantly, that might be a little problem. But you know what? Every now and then people just need a break. When I went to school, we called them mental health days, and I would just hang out at home and watch TV and read a book and just lay in my bed for, an hour and do nothing, because that's just sometimes what you need to do. And that's okay. You're not failing if you take a break once in a while. You're not failing as a homeschool parent if, the kids are having a bad day. It's normal. And we take breaks. We take vacations. We take days off. We have days where we sit on the couch and veg. That's normal. And every now and then we have to remember that our kids are growing humans, and they are going to eventually need to do what we do, which is have a day to veg and have a day to relax and just, play hooky once in a while. Because who hasn't done that? Right? And so it's okay. You can totally abandon your day, and it's totally fine. Especially when the kids are melting down. Sometimes you just need to call it a day. And that's fine. Totally fine. So today this is your permission. If you need permission, you can take today off. You don't have to do all the things today. You can take it off and then focus on making sure everyone has really good food, that everyone's fed and filled and good. Everyone takes a bath or a shower, goes to bed a little bit early, and then just start again tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. We can try again and, hope for the best. So that's all we can do as humans and as parents and as homeschoolers. So I hope this is some advice that is going to help you when your days fall apart, because it's going to happen. It's okay. It's normal. But if you like this video and you want to see other videos like it, make sure you're subscribed, click the bell to get notifications. Consider becoming a member, because members get bonus videos, they get early releases, they get extra coupons, they get all kinds of cool stuff. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and you can see what I'm doing when my days fall apart, because that happens in my house too. And maybe get some ideas on how to make your homeschooling a little bit more fun. Anyways, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next week.